getting familiar with the periodic table, you will notice that there are groups and periods on the periodic table. The groups are the vertical columns, and today you will see that they are usually numbered 1 through 18, although there is an older numbering system that is actually pretty useful. It uses Roman numerals, and we have group 1A through group 8A, skipping the elements in the middle. And we will see later in the course that this is actually pretty useful because these numbers will correspond to the number of electrons in the outer shell, all except for one element, and that's helium. That's the only one that is an exception. But anyway, often within groups there are similar properties, and that is especially true for group 1, group 2, group 7, and group 8A. Periods are the horizontal rows, and we will see that there is a general trend from active metals to less active metals to nonmetals to finally inert gases. So that being said, let me talk about the split between the metals and the nonmetals on the periodic chart. The metals will be, we can almost draw a zigzag line that is going to split the metals from the nonmetals. And for metals, the properties that you will see is that they are shiny solids, and there is one exception to that, and that is mercury, which is a liquid. It's a shiny liquid. They tend to have high melting points. Of course, mercury is an exception to that. They are good conductors, and they're good conductors of heat and electricity. They are malleable, which means they can be hammered into a sheet, and they are ductile, which means that they can be pulled into a wire. And some metals are better at these things than others. For example, tungsten is a really brittle metal, whereas some other metals like gold are extremely soft. The nonmetals, on the other hand, have very different properties. They're almost exactly opposite. They tend to be solids, liquids, or gases, and when we talk about the nonmetals, we'll look at that specifically. They are usually poor conductors, which makes them insulators. And lastly, the solids tend to be brittle solids. So what you need to be familiar with is where the periodic table splits off and which sides are the metals and which sides are the nonmetals. I'll do two other presentations, one on metals and one on nonmetals.